Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? So, another talk today. I think we can just compound on what we talked about yesterday because I think if we just keep sticking on those points, we were right there. And I think we're close on this go deep. My homeboy Brian hit me up and he was like, yo, finally the Snyder Cut movement has gotten to this point where we can talk about this shit. Because me and Brian have been talking about this type of shit, like, since we first met, like 2 years ago or whatever. We just did never really know how to present it in ways like this. But I think the reason we can present it right now because it's unfolding, in our opinion, what's going on in real life. And I think how I can combine that and show you, I think the Dark Knight trilogy was still kind of like connected with this new DCEU. I think it was somewhat connected because the storylines are similar. Because, like, look at this. In the Dark Knight Returns, in the Dark Knight trilogy, you had the Illuminati at the beginning, Batman Begins, the League of Shadows, and they said they come to wreck the country or wreck Gotham to bring the country to a halt so they can restart. A lot of people think we're going through a restart right now in real life. So it's easier to talk about and it's easier to connect the dots when you actually live it. All right. They brought a microwave emitting weapon that, you know, it connects with water or something, and it makes everybody scared. They put the fear toxin in the water, and now everybody got scared. And the panic level was supposed to sink the city. We know the story, and we know who was behind it. And Batman was like, no, I'm not going to let it happen, and blah, blah, blah. Now, that microwave emitter could be like a free energy device, that could easily probably be put on a satellite. So, but what we're doing now, we're seeing how this could work in today's times. Also in the Dark Knight trilogy, Bane wanted to do pretty much the same shit that the Illuminati wanted to do on part one. He said he wanted to finish what the League of Shadows started. He brought the city to a halt, brought the whole country to a halt, pretty much. Like what we're pretty much witnessing today. Sports games stopped, and he took Bruce Wayne's free energy device and basically hijacked it and turned it into a weapon. Where have you heard that story yet? On Watchmen. Ozzy took Dr. Manhattan's free energy technology, hacked it, turned it into a weapon. Same thing Bane did. Bane blew his shit up. It just was further out in the country. Further out in the water. Ozymandias blew his up in the city. All right. So we're talking now. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. We know, or my little theory is that the mother box started hacking the satellites, and once they started hacking the satellites, it was kind of like the weapons on the satellite was able to be controlled by something else, by the mother box, by AI or the dark side or whatever the hell that shit is going on. So now, in real life, that's like the biggest scare in real life, because all of our technology coming to the future, starting now, going into the future, is going to be controlled by AI systems. And the scare is, can AI get strong enough and smart enough to be dominant over humans? And how would they do that if they compute information from the dark side. That's what all of this about. So of course you would need Superman and the Justice League to take care of a situation like that, right? But then now you see what's going on today. You see like post 9/11 America, and you see what the DCEU is now from pre 9/11 America, which that was the Dark Knight trilogy. So DCEU right now has these weapons, probably hovering in a satellite, probably hovering the Earth in a satellite. We saw Zod and Superman crash into a Bruce Wayne satellite, so we know Zack Snyder has that already in his mentions in his mindset. We saw the girl on Suicide Squad hack into America's satellites. So we know they were already planning on doing that because they left that little piece. They didn't cut that little piece out. We also know that the mother boxes can do that. We know the mother boxes compute with Darkseid in that universe. We know AI systems in this universe, our real universe, computes with the dark side also. It's just divination, ones and zeros. It's finding the future or finding whatever is on the other side. God's energy is what they're looking for, what they say they're looking for. But so you can see the parallels in that. Now what's going on today with like this coronavirus shit and all that, everybody being sick all around the world. We know also that all of this scare shit is connected to like the stock market. When countries everyone gets scared and goes in a pandemic, the stock market values go low because what can you trade when you don't have nobody at work? So you see another parallel about that because Bane, didn't he steal the algorithms in their trade center or whatever on that movie when he needed the Gotham to go at a halt? That's the first thing he went at. Or maybe he went at Batman's lair first and then he went at the algorithms on Wall Street or whatever that shit was. But they've been telling us. So let's get back to Justice League. We know that some terrorists or some groups, League of Shadows, Illuminati, or whatever, wants America to fall and reset. We know that, right? Wheatgrass water. We've seen that in a lot of movies. You know what Liam Neeson said, this is going to be a reset, blah, 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 blah. When a forest gets too wild, we burn it down and purge it. That's how they think. And that's what the Illuminati pretty much is. The Illuminati is like, they're the second son in the kingdom. So the second son doesn't get the throne, only the first son. So the first son is the king, but the second son is still rich. He's just not a king. So he goes in secret societies to go at the king from the behind. So now if he can go at the king, he will dethrone the king by using the people in a revolution. Same thing Bane did. Turn the people against the rich people. We ran up in the houses for Bane. Turn the police against the convicts. They started fighting, blah, blah, blah. The movie previously before that, Joker was trying to get the city to fight. But in real life, we witnessed all of that. And what we didn't witness is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I think we didn't witness it yet because what he was going to say in that movie interfered with this rollout of 5G. Because there was already some inclination of some satellites getting hacked, which is the biggest fear on the planet right now, which is a job for the Justice League when they also have a satellite called the Watchtower or something like that. So before the rollout of 5G, which AT&T wants to do, Trump wants to do it with them. That's why he stood out of the way of that merger right when it happened with Warner Brothers and AT&T. But they don't want to do it, roll theirs out first if China was going to hack it. So they were trying to find ways, not hack it, but basically steal it and bootleg it and have their own technology through their own cell phones and blah, 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 blah. So what this technology is, it does what we know it can do. You've seen what I've been putting in Go Deep. It can give people radiation poisoning on the spot like that and ends up in multiple symptoms of sickness, all the way to cancer, all the way to death, all the way to suicide. We know this technology exists. So if China was to roll theirs out first and that technology was able to control the world, then China can be controlling the world. So if America didn't want that to happen, maybe a epidemic is made around them rolling their shit out. Why? We can't make that shit look like it succeeded. You know, like when the North Koreans fire a missile and they'll shoot it down from space, and then they'll be like, oh, the North Koreans failed again. You know, it's more posturing because they can't look like they succeeded on their 5G technology because the technology is too fucking strong. Right? Just like when they don't want Iran to have nuclear technology. Why? Because nuclear energy can probably take Iran off of oil energy. But also it can make a bomb. Depends on how you use it. Right? Same thing with when Bruce Wayne on Dark Knight Returns, or the Dark Knight trilogy, or Dark Knight Rises, when Bruce Wayne was under the ground, under the water with his free energy weapon, he said or free energy machine. He said the world is not ready for this because it's able to be hacked and turned into the biggest bomb you've ever seen, which it was on the Dark Knight trilogy. And I think it was going to be that way also on the Justice League story arc, or the beginning of the Justice League movie, because it was building up to that. Why? Because in real life, it's building up to that. In real life, this is the biggest scare also. What if it was China's rollout was sabotage? Because it's just the weapon that they're about to roll out is just too strong, you know? And the people who maybe benefit the most off of China not pumping out their bootleg technology is AT&T, probably. Just what it is. So we're begging the people to release the Snyder Cut, and we're begging them to release something that well, maybe it will be released now. Maybe it will be released because the rollout has already happened. Like Wuhan and their 5G shit has already happened. So now, I guess China can't get mad at the Justice League movie and say we're not going to show it because it's too devilish or some shit like that, you know? And they were going to hold out their $300 million on the Justice League movie too. Right? So if they held out their $300 million on Justice League and they said it was probably going to be too devilish or whatever, they could make up any reason why they don't show it. Then Justice League probably would have went from, $1 billion to $600 million, $700 million. They probably couldn't do that again. So if we look at like everything that was involved, it looks like Everything was about investments, from the merger to even even putting like the Russian family in there, right? That got to be about investments also, because I'm sure somewhere down the line they were tied in it, and they had to be pleased through that movie, because they wasn't in the original movie like that. And so many things were taken out, like cyborg shit, to add in the Russians. Why cyborg was taken out? Probably because black people didn't stand that big of a gain in investments. But Disney probably saw it different, and they pandered to black people like with Black Panther, and they made a return on their investment. I don't know, but I think we're getting close to it, because I think this is all coming alive in real life. I think this technology's ability to be hacked is being shown as we speak. I think Bruce Wayne, and that's why, like in Suicide Squad, when Bruce Wayne got involved at the end, he was probably always involved. When he got involved, he set that girl down. He set Amanda down, and he was like, "Yo, my people will take it from here." He probably said that because it was his satellite that was hacked. Probably had a energy beam weapon on it. Probably was used. So a lot of shit be scared. Is a lot of shit weary about this, because it's like, are they prepared? This is what I'm trying to say, y'all. Listen to this. Ozymandias hijacked an energy weapon and used it in New York. Fucking Bane hijacked an energy weapon and used it in New York. Suicide Squad, fucking the girl hijacked the satellite. They beat her ass in New York because they beat her ass in Wall Street. Oh my God, they beat her ass in Wall Street. Wow, I just thought about that. And there was an American flag on there, and fucked up buildings. Also, she hijacked America's satellite, and she shot them. She shot us with them. I think maybe that was not supposed to be in the movie. I think she was going to hijack it, use it to bring Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf was going to give the trigger to shoot in Justice League. But it's really Darkseid giving the trigger to shoot through Steppenwolf. And I think we couldn't see that because what they were going to use to shoot was about to be rolled out in large corporations. They were going to probably use a satellite to shoot us, like Star Wars did. And probably we couldn't do that because the big corporations were probably about to roll out this huge technology, satellite-based. Probably couldn't show that shit. And here we are today. We trying to fight those same corporations to get this movie out. But we got to know all the stuff that they want to cover up and how they cover up shit. That's what Go Deep is all about. It's the same message we've been saying the whole time. The whole time. If you look back, as soon as I knew about this AT&T shit, we knew what was really going on. This fucking, it was just figuring out ways to say it, like me and Brian Kuhn. But it's really all connected. And I think us as the Snyder Cut movement, I think we saw it first because we really needed to talk to AT&T. But they were really, really fucking busy at the time. And we probably see that. We probably saw how they squash movements. We probably saw misinformation. We probably saw infiltration. We probably saw all kind of shit. Because what we're up against and what we have, what the truth we're holding on to, is just too fucking big. It's like the reason for 9/11, a totalitarian world. But you can't do the totalitarian world without releasing you have technology to implement it. I think we're seeing that today. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah, bitch.